Welcome back. We're going to do our Sneaky Scales brainstorming sheet today. This piece of paper is in your packet. You are going to want a pencil. You might want a blending stump. I think they're pretty handy. And of course your brainstorming sheet and possibly an eraser. Okay, so you're going to think of 3 possible images where you could draw a value scale. Now we did have a group brainstorm about this, so go ahead and check out the group brainstorm. For the sake of not using up all the ideas, I'll just use some that were in the examples, which was a cake and balloons and a clock. All right, so I'm going to put a star next to the one I want to use. So just for the sake of showing you a demonstration, I'll just do an image with a cake. All right. This is the part that I want you to practice. We did a value scale last semester, but it's been a couple months, so it's good to kind of practice it again. Remember that you want to make the darkest you can get, so whichever pencil you think you might use, maybe like a 2B or a 3B, I'm going to use that to do my value scale. And then I want the light, I can leave that basically white, and then even steps in between. So I like to start with my darkest and get as dark as I can get it, so here I go. Okay, and I sped that up, of course, so you didn't have to sit and wait. Blending stump is great because I can use it to smooth this over, and it really pulls everything together and gets rid of those white spaces. So please make use of your blending stump. Some people use their finger, but I think it gets a little smudgy and your finger gets messy, so I like the blending stump. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is try to get the lightest I can possibly get. So I kind of start at one end and then go to the other and then go back and forth. So I'll leave my lightest. Well, let's do it a light gray. Let's get it as light as we can just with our pencil and our kneaded eraser. So here's what I'll do. I'll go into a light layer and then I'll erase it with my kneaded eraser. Here we go. So I did a little smudge with my finger and it actually got it really nice and light. And then I can just go like this with my kneaded eraser and it takes off a layer. So that's pretty good. That's a nice light value. Okay, so now I'll try to go a little bit lighter in the darker area and then a little bit darker in the lighter area. And I might have to darken some and lighten some. You're just trying to make even steps between all of your value scales. So here we go, let me dive on in. Okay, a couple things to note. One, when you use the blending stump, it does change the value. So before you get too far, you might want to use the blending stump just to see, because I do think it darkens it. I did end up using my finger a little bit on the lighter values. I think it blends it without darkening it, so that's something to keep in mind. Another thing is you want them to be the same value in the box. So if I look at each box individually, it should be the same value. So this one's a little bit different, so I might blend it this way so that the whole box is the same. Trying to make even steps in between each one. The jump between these two is a little bit more sudden than the jump between these two or these two. So I might need to go in and do some tinkering. So I might need to make this one a little lighter. And this one a little lighter. So that I can make this one a little lighter, so the jump between those two is more sudden. On the other hand, I could make this one a little darker and, oh no, I could make, oh no, those are too similar. So I might have to make this one darker. So it's a back and forth. So I'll make this one a little darker, which means I need to make this one a little darker. When you have this many boxes, it's going to be hard to make all of them different, but just do your best. The final thing for your value shift will be to clean up any smudge marks. See how I got my hand all messy. So see if you can clean up around your value scale. I just called it a value shift, but it's a value scale. See if you can get it nice and clean, because you'll do this on your final drawing. So we're just practicing. And then same thing here. Okay, this does not have to be perfect, but it is an opportunity to practice. So when you go to do your value scale on your nice, beautiful drawing, you'll feel more confident. It'll go a little bit smoother. So do take the time to do your best work here. It's just a practice, but do your best. And then you'll sketch your image here. So I can have it horizontal, if that's how I want my paper to go, or I could have it vertical. Maybe if you're right-handed, turn it this way, if you're left-handed this way, so you're not smudging your hand. And then you'll sketch in where your image is and where the different values will go. So here we go. I'm going to sketch mine very loosely, just with an idea of where the values will go. Okay, so I sketched it in. It is not a perfect drawing. You'll notice that this value shift is much more of a sketch than this one. This is where I'm practicing getting the actual values. This is just to show where it goes in the picture. I could even make a little note, dark to light, so I remember. I need to make sure that I have 8 value shifts. So I've got my 8 value sections, awesome. And then I've just kind of sketched in, like I'm gonna have a fork here and a plate and a candle, and I might actually shift everything down when I go to do my final. All right, take a quality photo, submit it, and then you're ready to work on your final. Have fun.